Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome back. I'm Zakaria Falanda, Director of Equilibrium Elementary School. So today I want you to think about your days at madrasa. How were you taught to recite the Quran? In all probability, you were taught in the same way I was taught. We were given what was known as a surah. It is a primer that contains the Arabic words and or the Arabic letters, and there you were taught to identify Arabic letters. You were then taught to read the two letters together. The vowels were then added. So you were taught your alif, ba, ta, then you were taught your ah, ba, ta, and e, b, t, so on and so forth, until you reached to a level where you could construct small words and you could read them. When you reach to the end of that primer, after a year or 2 or 3, depending on the speed by which you comprehended the primer, you would then progress onto reading the Quran. Alhamdulillah, this was a good method of teaching at the time, and it had allowed many of us to become proficient readers of the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the teachers and those who done all the good work to get us to that level. But we are now at a level as a community where we are able to look at Arabic as in more broad terms. Yes, Arabic is the language of the Quran. And in order to read the Quran, we learned the Arabic language. But we didn't learn the language per se. We were learning only how to read the language, to identify words in that language. And it might sound absurd for a non-Arab that we were learning how to read a language, but we were not at all learning about understanding that language, or by reading, communicating in that language, or reading the language with any level of understanding. So what did we decide? At Equilibrium Elementary School, we decided that we're going to implement Arabic as a third language. We are not simply going to teach the child to read the Quran, but we are going to teach the child about Arabic as a language, to view Arabic as a language which is a spoken language, which is a language that people read, and which is a language that people communicate in. So this is extremely important at Equilibrium Elementary School. So this is our approach then to learning the Arabic language. Students are taught to identify letters. They are taught to bring these letters together and to construct words. But more importantly, these words have meanings. So they need to then associate the word that they construct with a meaning and with a conceptual idea, or with a picture, or with a physical object in their environment. So if you teach a child the letter ba, for example, and ba, one of the words that it spells is bab, babun. So babun means something. It is not sufficient for the child only to be able to read babun. The child should correlate that word with a meaning, with an understanding, and in terms of this word bab, it means door. So when the child says bab, then the concept of a door should be permeating within the mind of the child. And in this manner, we hope that we're going to do more than just teach the child to identify and to read Arabic, but also we're going to give them an appreciation of of Arabic being a language which they can understand. This is not going to always happen in the manner that we would want it to happen. Obviously, we want the child to be able to recite the Quran as soon as possible. And this does not necessarily mean that the child is going to be able to learn so many words that within the foundation phase, after knowing how to read the Quran, that the child is going to be able to understand all of the Quran. But what we are aiming at this level at least, is that there should be certain words, certain nouns especially, that the child understands, certain verbs that the child understands, certain prepositions, and so on and so forth, that the child understands, in order to be able to at least to construct small sentences, and when they read these sentences as well in their primers, to extrapolate a meaning and an understanding. So this is our approach at Equilibrium Elementary when it comes to teaching Arabic as a third language. We do it full on, reading, comprehending, and understanding, and also communicating. join us at Equilibrium Elementary School, and this is part and parcel then of what we have to offer for your kids. Shukran for listening and taking the time. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Be sure to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on post notifications to be notified every time our latest educational videos are posted.